Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Thousand Week Reich as Germany. Let's continue on from where we last left off. So Hitler is dead. Is there anything else folks I can actually do? I don't believe so. So right now there's a bit of a power struggle going on within the country. Turkey has intervened in Syria. Oh, please pause so I can actually read some of this stuff. So the sudden dramatic expansionists of the radical Greater Syria has shocked many around the world, both among the great powers afar and the powers located closer to the events. One regional power, Turkey, it seems, to decide the situation spiraled out of control and requires their own action. As a result, Turkish forces have launched an attack across the border and what has been called an intervention against the radical Syrian threat. Syria's declared war on Turkey. Position of Weimar will be next. So Rommel's speech. General Field Marshal Erwin Rommel has made an appearance on national television recently as the Fox of the Ardennes. German people admire Rommel and are relying on him for relief after a sudden death of the Fuhrer. Erwin Rommel gave a grand speech saying, in times like these, the German people must stand together as one. He also stated that if Germany bickered and disagreed upon the future actions of the Reich, the nation would crumble. He urged that the leadership find solidarity and common solution that would bring Germany out of this crisis. For a brief moment, the sense of unity that was felt amongst the German populace, a necessary distraction in such dire times. So the Weimar's role. The Weimar had little influence on politics during Adolf Hitler's rule, but in this case, its role might be vital for Germany's future. Several leading party figures have secretly held meetings with the Weimar High Command, trying to secure their support in the upcoming power struggles. However, the Weimar holds the last decision. They can either side with the populist choice, Speer and Goebbels' faction, the legitimate government, Martin Bormann's Senate, Hitler's second in command, Hermann Göring's cronies, or they can choose to stay neutral. What decision will the Weimar take? Well, they are going to go for, let's say, Speer and Goebbels. Or is it Goebbels or is it Goebbels? I'm not too sure how you actually pronounce it. Improve relation boost. Probably don't want that, at least not right now. Braun wants to make a speech. The wife of the Fuhrer, Eva Braun, was asked by the government if she could make a speech in memory of the Fuhrer's tragic death. While the major national symbols, such as Erwin Rommel, were listed as speakers on the schedule, Eva Braun was not planned to appear during the funeral. While some figures have argued that letting Eva Braun speak on behalf of the Fuhrer would destroy the Fuhrer's image in the eyes of the Aryan women, some also have also advocated that Eva Braun is the best remaining symbol of the Fuhrer in the flesh and blood, whom can serve as an effective speaker to bring Germany together. Let Eva Braun speak. I'm sure she can't make things too much worse than they already are. And Cambodian liberals win 53. News from Cambodia has certainly surprised many political experts on the Indo-Chinese region today. As the political juggernaut known as the Cambodian Democratic Party is lost against the smaller liberal party of Prince Norodom Nordith. The Liberal Party has generally only found real support among the Khmer elite, members of the royal family, and few French Indo-Chinese left in Cambodia since the Japanese occupation of the region. However, this election, the Liberal Party was able to amass much support from the urban regions of Cambodia, securing electoral victory in a race against the Democrats and the Communists. The victory of the Liberal Party has been celebrated in the Commonwealth nations and its Toronto Court associates, as the Liberal Party was generally a pro-Accord and pro-French party. Who cares about Cambodia? And the Finnish ban, or the Finnish communist ban, lifted. In a true democratic fashion, the ban on the SKP has been lifted. While this has damaged Europe's relationship with Finland, the Social Democratic Party in charge of Finland seemed to be willing to suffer this hit for the sake of political balance between the right and the left. Meanwhile, in the West, reception of this event seems to be minor, while some praising Finland as a prime example of how true democracy should function, allowing opposition parties to have a legal voice in the political system. Interestingly, the unbanning of the SKP is regarded as a controversial decision, with nationalistic citizens protesting the government's actions, calling this an act traitorous, betraying Finland by allowing the Bolsheviks to operate legally. I'm sure Germany does not appreciate that decision too much. And the Slavic revolt. Reich's Commissar control in Moscow has always been among the most unstable in the Reich, titled as a slave state by outsiders. The oppressed Russian people have finally built up the courage to rise up after catching wind of the death of Hitler. While some might argue that this rebellion was bound to happen, the revolt was certainly emboldened by Hitler's recent death and the instability it caused in the German government. Now the revolution is in full swing. Is this a sign for what is to come? So, it looks like Moscow is now at war with let's see, they're at war with the Moscow Red Army, they're at war with the Free Russian Movement, they're at war with the Association of the Freed, the Original Oblast of Moscow, and the Young Russian Committee, which looks like they've actually have formed their own faction, the anti-German coalition. Hopefully this does not spread out to the rest of the Reich Commissars, but I kind of don't. I kind of expect all of these areas are probably going to explode very, very soon. The Moscow Red Army, of course, is the scariest, because they're probably going to be the ones that are going to be ending up joining with the USSR, depending on how things go. Braun speaks for Speer. During Eva Braun's speech in the funeral, she commented on the current events occurring within the government. She voiced her minimal support for Speer, stating that he was a dear friend to the couple. Eva Braun also mentioned that Hitler's personal relationship with Speer was close. Speer is undoubtedly one of the most trustworthy people within the Reich. This speech alarmed certain political figures, while Albert Speer has denied any claims that he has plotted this event with Eva Braun. We're going to lose 30 political power, fantastic, and a grand funeral of Adolf Hitler. In memory of Germany's fallen Führer, Adolf Hitler, Germany's witnessed the biggest public event in its entire history. Started with a military parade performed by the elite SS Panzer Grenadiers, followed by a 4-hour-long orchestra performance. That is way too long. Adolf Hitler's funeral is held in the heart of Volksrad under the guard of the Inner Circle and loyal bodyguards, attended by tens of thousands of Germans. Germany was reported overly crowded by mourning Germans. Among the dozen of Germans, only a few foreigners attended this grand funeral. This event quickly became a televised banger, with the voice of Joseph Goebbels echoing throughout the world in a form of his patriotic speech, which lasted for upwards of 10 hours. You're giving a 10-hour speech? Absolutely insanity. Why would you do such a thing? Okay, so it looks like the Caucasus are now also at war. They're currently at war with the Don Cossack League. It looks like... Was Georgia and Armenia part of the Reichskommissar? I believe so, so I think they kind of have broken free. But if it's just a one-on-one war, the Caucasus should be a little bit more stable. Can I actually give support to any of these people? Let's give some support to... probably not Ukraine. Let's send 1,000 guns to the Caucasus. That seems like an okay choice for now. Okay, let me just read this one first. The Speer's Global Bloc. Shortly after formation of the Senate, Albert Speer and Joseph Goebbels have formed a voting bloc in an attempt to dominate the Senate. Speer and Goebbels also visited and appeared before the public together. The Speer partners seem to have already secured most of the public support in a short amount of time. Some in the Senate are now beginning to feel worried about these developing threats. So we're going to lose another 5% stability. Fantastic. And grain crisis in Ukraine. From our strict demands for grain, reports from Ukraine have detailed a looming crisis. Germany should pay close attention if any problems arise. And with that in mind, once we have 30 political power, I will immediately send up some guns. So the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia declared war on the government of national salvation. So we got you guys versus... yeah, of course, Joseph Tito is here. Wait, his first name's not... Tito is here. His first name's not Joseph. No, Joseph. Okay. But it looks like now you are at war with significantly more people. And the Serbian Civil War. While the Serbian government is spiraling into chaos, the communist elements of the National Guards attempted to aid the partisans in overthrowing the regime. However, loyalists successfully repelled any attempts of a coup in Belgrade, and the government of national salvation has declared martial law. While partisans have responded with military actions in southern Serbia, the nation is now effectively in a civil war, with no clear sides being the undoubted winner. And the Caucasus are in chaos. With Caucasus in the total control, German resources for the district-ruled enclaves are being evacuated. The local civilian administrations are now in charge of the area, attempting a last stand against the rising revolts. Well, as long as we can, hold on to you... extraction of wealth, local security forces, because if you, and you're also now at war with even more people, which is fantastic. Are you just not it's not just in our faction anymore, huh? And I don't think I can send you volunteers. Yeah, we're actually not allowed to ever send volunteers, as far as I can tell. And Western Ukraine, okay, so now Ukraine is also having a bit of a problem. And we have negative 73 political power, which I would say is not great. How many wars could possibly be breaking out here? So you're at war with Nogai. You're at war with you. The Mountain Republic, State of Georgia is down here. The Azerbaijan Socialist Republic, which also scares me a little bit because they could probably join up with the USSR. And also we have the Southwest Red Army Command, currently led by, of course, the Soviets. Which is not great. And I don't know if there's any way I can support any of you other than probably sending you guns. But right now... oh, we can actually crush Swiss terrorists. Yeah, crush the Swiss. Thank you. Ukrainian collapse. The Reichskommissariat Ukraine has fallen victim to the tide of revolution throughout Eastern Europe. Shortly after days of grain-related unrest, what seems to have been a minor inconvenience turned into an outright civil war on a massive scale. With rebels on all sides, the Reichskommissar is surrounded by enemies who are eager to fight the Germans after years of oppression. The Soviet Union has benefited from the unrest in Ukraine, successfully establishing a Southwest Red Army to be formed and battle-ready. While the rebels are largely under-equipped, the pure determination in their ranks might serve in their best during this fight to the death. Why? Who? Stop declaring war on everybody. Aren't you not at war with enough people? I don't think Moscow is going to, unfortunately, survive. I feel like they're going to be killed fairly soon. And Ukrainian insurgency. Surprisingly, our suppression tactics in Ukraine have backfired. Central leadership in Germany refused to mobilize the Reich's military to crush this revolt. Many in Germany let down the Reich's government, handled the uprising. However, one of the largest suppliers of food in the greater German Reich, we have sent a grand expedition to assist the Reich government and secure the grain supply. So we're going to lose 50 more political power. Fantastic. Why? I just wish I could just send troops. Member of the pro-German front. You are also now at war in the south. Where's another country? How many people could possibly be in this war? Seems like a bit much, if you ask me. Bormans, what about my wait. What about my army over here? You've all gone down to Crimea. You know what? You will defend Crimea to the death. So congratulations to you guys, because you're still actually a puppet state of mine, which is nice. Bormann's condemnations. Reich's leader Martin Bormann, addressing the Senate during the meeting, spoke about harming elements that are hidden within the Senate, and these people are jeopardizing Germany's unity. Obviously, these speeches are directed at Spears and Goebbels' recent actions. Well, both of these pair were present. When Bormann's speech was concluded, half of the room started clapping, while Spear and Goebbels' bloc sat silently. The facade of unity within the Senate have shattered. So, negative 100 political power, negative 10% stability, and we're going to get another event fairly soon. The Free Cossacks Red Army. So you're also at war with basically everybody. Who are you? So you are not you. Does my government even exist anymore? They exist basically just only in the north. And of course you guys are also the communists. So you might also end up just joining with the Soviets in the future as well. Fantastic. So the collapse of the Caucasus. The internal situation of the Greater German Reich has now been in a downward spiral. With the first over rebellions conceding with instability within metropolitan Germany itself, Germany's central government seems to have temporarily evacuated many of its forces from the directly controlled regions of the Caucasus, and in control of them over to Caucasus colonial government. One by one, various factions within the Caucasus regions have declared their open resistance against the German government. Reports indicate that Reich Commissar Caucasus administration requested additional support from Germania, but too preoccupied to spend resources on suppressing this far-off rebellion, they have been sent only a small expeditionary force to support the Caucasus. I can send them, like, weapons and stuff, but I don't even have any real weapons myself. So you're kind of just on your own as far as I'm concerned. We will get some military police and some recon companies. I think that seems okay. Ukraine is doing all right in comparison to most other countries. Attempted terror attack. Swiss terrorists attempted to damage our factories once again, but failed due to the effectiveness and brutal intervention. We have 44 May days until this is finished. The Volgamite Red Army. So who are you guys now? Because you're at war with like an entire different country at this point. Are you... Where's the Volga? I'm actually not too sure where they actually are. Are you these guys? No. Well, we'll just kind of let all these guys fight it out. And we'll kind of see what happens. Our government in Moscow has collapsed. The Association of the Free declared war on the Moscow Red Army. Everybody else is now in war here as well. So are you all at war with each other? Yeah, basically. Civil war in Western Russia. After ousting our German occupiers, it seems that though the people of Western Russia have taken up arms once again, except this time at each other. Russian reactionaries, communists, and anarchists have all claimed parts of the land of the former Reich Commissar of Moscow, and it seems that though the absence of a common enemy has revealed the conflict within the Russian liberation movement. Although it's impossible to predict which elements will win out in the moment, it seems that the people of Western Russia are in for yet another round of conflict and suffering. Well, I would take a guess in saying that, the end of the Moscowan. I mean, you still exist, but you're not really a puppet state of mine anymore. I feel like the anti-German coalition is probably more likely to win, but then I imagine the USSR is just going to intervene right away. End of Moscowin. With the revolt at such a massive scale, the Reich's Commissariat Moscowin was unable to defend itself from the natives. After a decade of German occupation, Moscow is now back in Slavic hands, but the end of the Reich Commissar will certainly not be the end of chaos within the Muscovy region. With two factions greatly at odds with one another, the White Movement and the Communists will undoubtedly turn against each other as the departure of the Germanic tyrants from their motherland. While these locals have achieved the goal of becoming free, the biggest manufacturing for Moscow's downfall is the Soviet Union. With time, the possibility of Soviet reconquering its lost lands grows stronger towards the step of Soviet reunification. I imagine this, if the Moscow Red Army wins, I'm assuming they're just going to immediately annex all this territory instantly. I mean, it seems like Ostland at least is not falling apart right now. So, I mean, that's good. DNA structure discovered. A short paper entitled The Structure of Dioxide Nucleic Acid has been submitted to scientific journal Nature, revealing the structure of the DNA molecule, and therefore the process in which it divides, which had remained a mystery until now. Aided by the work of Rosalind Franklin, American scientist James Watson, and British scientist Francis Crick, co-authored the paper. The world scientific community has not been quick to react, and those ideas on the structure of the DNA molecule remain uncertain. German scientists have used this latest discovery to justify the racial ideas and policies, claiming that it is proof of the racial superiority of some human population over another. The world will see whether the discovery stands the test of further experiments or will go down in history. Well, I think Ukraine has a better chance of winning than most. Soviet Union has declared war on you guys. I guess they want to probably reclaim all this area in the future. The Reichsführer SS and the Senate. Facing a seemingly unsolved power of the Speeder's global bloc, Martin Bormann has approached the Reichsführer SS Heinrich Himmler, suggesting that the Schutzstaffen should take a more active role in Senate matters. A move that could allow Bormann to secure power and keep the Senate officials in line. In exchange, Bormann has promised Himmler a prominent role in German politics and a high position within the future Bormann government. How did Himmler respond? Forms a secret bloc. Accept, but the SS should have greater influence. So the fate of Germany has been bypassed. Do I have any options yet? Not quite yet, because we don't know who's exactly coming out on top yet. It looks like the government of national salvation has won, which is good for us. So once again, it is Mayday. Get an extra 50 political power. I mean, we're at negative 176, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. The Albanian Revolution. Tirani has an upheaval today as the Albanian Party of Labour, led by communist revolutionary Enver Hoxha, has successfully taken power in the pro-Italian administration, citing a fascist government that would be more conservative, pandering to their overlords in Rome than providing a decent life for the Albanian people. The communists declare that Albania shall now be a people's republic, seeking to achieve socialism in the mold of the severed Soviet Union. The Italian garrisons have been driven out of all major cities, and many experts see this as another example of Italy's weakening grip over her empire. Whether or not the Albanian Revolution will be prolonged is one yet to be seen. So Enver Hoxha is now in charge of Albania. I feel like they're going to immediately just be invaded by all sides, but we'll see. Because I don't see why Italy would just allow them to kind of just sit around. Okay, but I think the Western government will fall soon. The Spears global bloc storms out. The Senate meeting after Bormann's dealing with Himmler resulted in the Schutzstaffen holding greater influence in politics. However, words have been leaked and the Senate officials are now aware of these underhanded negotiations. While most of the first-hand is doubt the presence of a large group of armed SS officers in the Senate, all confirm the theory. Members of the Spears global bloc debated aggressively, saying that Bormann's decision was illegal and were not approved by the majority of the Senate. During these heated debates, Bormann continued to deny all and any accusations, time and time again, repeatedly shutting down any related discussions. Frustrated by such behavior, Joseph Goebbels and Albert Speer stormed out of the hall. While they were first stopped by the SS guards, Martin Bormann issued the order to let them pass. Many Senate members followed Spears and Goebbels, leaving the Senate half empty by the end of the day's session. Another 200 political power has been lost. Fantastic. But I think you will die soon. Syria... I mean, Syria, you declaring war on somebody else in these times, you know, that's ballsy. I gotta respect that. And Syria has invaded the Hashemite states, even though they have absolutely no chance of winning. And our government in the Caucasus has now fallen. I mean, we still have, like, 2 little guys in here, but that's really about it. Goebbels recreates the brown shirts. With tensions growing in Germany, Joseph Goebbels was still actively making grand speeches in the public, but some have noticed a slight change in the latest speeches held by Goebbels. Citizens noted a significant presence of militiamen around the speech location. These men bore striking resemblance to the Sturmturmling back in their peak during the German Republic's paramilitary chaos. This might be the first sign of restarting of the public political violence in Germany. Another 200 political power lost, and some more stability. Senate discontented. Bormann's secret dealings performed behind the Senate's back. Discontent is now growing within the chamber. More have joined the Spear Goebbels faction and now challenging Martin Bormann. Bormann shall obey. So we're now at negative 978 political power. So we'll see kind of how this goes. Are you at war with you? You're not. You're all just at war with Ukraine, but I'm sure that'll change very soon. So another attempted terrorist attack, but we should be getting that done in about 2 weeks from now. So the Kazakh Social Republic will be killed soon. I wouldn't be surprised if the Soviets again invade all of this area. Claiming coming to Senate. The Senate might be appeased for now, but they seem to think that the best solution for Germany now is to hold an internal election for a new leader as soon as possible. How should Bormann respond? We can promise an election, or we can you know what? Let's double down. Let's have a negative 1,000 political power. The SS betrays Bormann. Bormann thought he could control the Stufenstaffen, but in reality, the SS simply used him as a stepping stone. Removing both him and the Senate at the same time under pretext of national security, the SS essentially overthrew the Senate and Bormann, making Heinrich Himmler the new leader of Germany. We're going to gain 150 political power. Heinrich Himmler is now in charge of the country. Himmler's coup. After a period of power struggle in Germania, Heinrich Himmler and the SS has overthrown the national government, becoming the new paramount leader of the German Reich. However, many elements of the government have yet to swear their loyalty to Himmler, signaling for more measures must be implemented before fully consolidating his control. So I think we now have some options. So the SS security coup has happened. We will disarm the army. I'm sure that sounds like a great idea. Nothing bad could possibly happen from that. So we're now a different... Okay, I mean, we'll kind of see how this turns out. The Reichsmarshal Knox. The political turmoil in Germany is spiraling out of control. Reichsmarshal Hermann Göring has offered a lending hand in the council, requesting to give the council a speech that will unite politicians in the common good for Germania. Should the council open the doors for Göring? Sure, we can let him in. I'm sure nothing bad could happen here. Yeah, still no template from the stuff that we're building, but like, not worry about that. In the future, we'll use that equipment. But I think for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Quam. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, click them down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.